part B.4, Annotation Basics. The reason is very simple. We will move from the older version Spring MVC to the current version Spring MVC. And the current version Spring MVC, the configuration part, is based on annotations. So we need to learn that part. We need to get some background knowledge before we can use the annotations. So let's do the first video for the annotation topic in this part, and in part C I will do another video. Then we're pretty much ready to use annotations. All right, so let's start. All right. First, let's look at this question. What is the annotation in Java code? That technology, annotation technology, was added into Java JDK since the version JDK 1.5. That early, 1.5, version 5. Yeah, because right now, if you see 12, version 12, that one, so that 5, okay? 1.5 means version 5, okay? So that one, because any version you can start with 1 point something. So 12, 1.12, yeah. So you just look at that after 1 point, the version number after that 1 point. So actually that is the version 5. Yeah. All right. So very early, you can see this technology was created long time ago. All right, so the basics. Annotations are tags that you insert into your source code, Java source code, so that some tool, some special tool can process them. What kind of tool? Yeah, so we will, learn more and more. Different tools for different purposes. You use different tools to process different annotations. Yeah. Here, a simple example here. Yeah. Suppose we have some Java class like this. Then we use this annotation, @test. From the tag name, you can guess we want to do testing on this method. Do testing. Now, later I will talk about the, testing, some commonly used testing methods. @test. Then, so your method name. Then, some special testing tool will process this method in a special way. Yeah. The tool, special tool. Yeah. All right. So annotations do not change the way in which your programs are compiled. Okay? All right. So the meaning of this line tells you, all your regular Java statements are compiled the same as before. With annotations, without annotations, the compilation part keep the same as before. Okay, so here you can see the way to handle the annotation quite different. Yeah. Or we can treat in this way. We separate the annotation part and the Java regular instruction part. They are separated. Okay, yeah. All right. Java compiler generates the same virtual machine instructions with or without annotations. Yeah. But the instruction part is the same as before, but extra information will be added. So there is some extra information will be added in the compiled code. Compiled code, Java instruction part keeps the same, but there is some added annotation information somewhere separated from the usual Java instruction binary code. That kind of thing. Yeah. Based on that way, we try to understand the annotation, how the whole technology works. Yeah. All right, so next, properties of annotations. Now, basic properties. Now, first, annotation processing tools can operate on the source level, so that means before compilation, right? The source level, before compilation, or class level, after compilation. Yeah, so two levels. Yeah, before compilation, after compilation. Yeah. The special tools can extract information from, both two formats. Yeah, both formats. Yeah. So where the compiler has placed annotations, compiler needs to place annotation information somewhere separately. Just imagine. Yeah. All right. An annotation is used like a modifier. Yeah, we know modifier in a Java statement. Yeah. Public, right? Yeah. So that kind of private, public, the modifier. Yeah. And it is placed before the annotated item without a semicolon. So an annotation, you can see at the end of, so there is no semicolon. And at the end of the here, so we should treat in this way, because although we add test, but usually this public, this part, we write at the second line, okay? Yeah, at test, so at test, this is the annotation part. Then at the end of annotation, there is no semicolon, okay? Yeah, no semicolon. Don't by accident put a semicolon there, all right? Yeah, so then the public, usually people put in the next line. Yeah. Because annotation is not a Java statement. Java statement, we know, it ends with semicolon. But annotation is not Java statement. So don't put any semicolon at the end. Yeah. All right, so without semicolon. And annotation can be anywhere. You could put a modifier such as public or static. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Just to give you some idea. Yeah. The location where you can put an annotation. Yeah. So you just use your experience. Where do you put the public, static, right? Yeah. All right. Next one. By itself, the annotation does not do anything. It needs a tool to be used. Yes. Yeah. Here, let me give you the background on this one. Yeah. We mentioned some special tool again and again. Yeah. Annotation. So here, it's the special property. So different from a regular Java statement. A regular Java statement does some special work, right? Yeah. So annotation does not do any special data processing work, but annotation provides some special information to certain processing tool. The processing tool, based on that information, will do some special things. Now, pretty abstract. Yeah. Here for our Spring MVC, the processing tools we use, processing annotations, will generate configuration information for the container. Yeah. So look at that part. Yeah. we use annotations to do the configuration. So the special tool will do that translation part. Okay, we just do our annotation. Very simple, very straightforward. Then there is some special annotation processing tool will do the translation for the container. So the container can use that translated annotation information to generate a hidden configuration file. So we cannot see the configuration file, but there could be somewhere a hidden configuration file used by the container. That's the story behind the scene. All right, so next. All right, uses of annotations. Typical uses, now the configuration. So automatic generation of auxiliary files. That kind of auxiliary files here in our Spring MVC configuration file. Okay, such as deployment descriptor. Deployment is so we usually will refer to web.xml. But actually, for the Spring MVC, this part we need to provide that part. That part is not hidden. That part is explicit. All right, and being information classes. I mean, hidden things. We don't know. We don't know what kind of things generated. But we just know a lot of things related to specific configuration will be generated. All right. Automatic generation of code for testing. For testing case, some code generated, and we don't know what kind of code generated. Logging, sometimes when we do logging, write some log messages. Transaction, semantics, transaction, JDB's database transactions. We can use annotations to, tell the processing tool how do we want to do the transaction, and so on. A lot of other things. All right. Simple example: JUnit testing tool. So we will use the JUnit testing tool, in our project. So I will show you some examples. Then, when you develop your project, so you can try a little bit. Some of the methods you can put an @test annotation there. Then you can run the JUnit tool. Do the testing. We will do that part. All right. Besides methods, you can annotate classes. You can do annotation at the class level. So a lot of different things you can do with annotations. Fields and the local variables. So it will be very, very powerful. So you can imagine annotation way, very, very powerful. A lot of things we can use annotations to do easily. If we do not use annotations, then we need to write a lot of code. We need to do a lot of other things. So that's the reason the current Java developers, they love annotation. Extremely popular annotations in Java programming, extremely popular. So we need to get used to it. All right. More understanding on annotations. More properties. First, annotations can be defined to have elements, not the details inside annotations. how do we write annotations? We need to learn more details there. Here in this example, you can see, here, have elements, have, attributes, values, key value pair. Okay? So for each annotation, you can add a lot of information like that. Here, timeout, that's the attribute name. 10,000, that's the attribute value. Then the processing tool will use this piece of information to generate some special configuration file. Okay, Each annotation must be defined by an annotation interface. Here, we look at the internal way to produce an annotation processing tool. Someone needs to develop an annotation processing tool, right? So here, how an annotation is handled. So using a special concept, annotation interface. We're familiar with a regular Java interface, right? Here, annotation interface, another type of interface, different from regular Java interface, different from Java interface, quite different. So we should treat them differently. Okay, The methods of the interface correspond to the elements of the annotations. Because you define many elements for annotation. How to represent those elements for that annotation through methods of that interface. Annotation interface, not the regular Java interface. Annotation interface. We will see some examples later. All right. Tools that process annotations receive objects that implement the annotation interface. Receive objects. Here, it's pretty vague. How to receive object? Pretty vague, right? So in the next video, we will give a little more information about what kind of objects received, based on the processing tool, some hidden thing generate special objects that implement the annotation interface. Here, from the words used, receive objects, you can see the developers, annotation tool developers, they do not need to implement this. Okay? They do not need to implement this. Some special mechanism is responsible to create this kind of thing. All right, so let us finish this video here, and in the part C, we will learn more annotation knowledge. All right, so let's